I just did the other intro. I didn't do a countdown.
We are live.
Oh.
All right. I think we are back on the air for anyone that's watching, hopefully.
Let's just give it a second, and then we'll drop the intro, and we'll start all over.
Yes. Sorry for the technical difficulties. One computer decided it wasn't going to work today.
All right.
Got a few viewers there. All right. We're going to...
All right. Welcome to the Dirty Snow Podcast, Season 5, Episode 2. Here we are, post technical difficulties. We got our 10 back. That's good.
Yes. Hopefully, if you can hear us, please give us some
comments.
thumbs up real quick if you can hear us. We had the soundboard not agreeing with us. So hopefully someone comments here.
Gotta love this live streaming stuff. You never know what type of wrench is going to get thrown at you.
Yeah. So we are 10 days away from Beaujeu. Friday the 13th will be the first official day.
The 13th will be, is that a testing day or is it?
I got 14th
on my test.
I believe it's testing.
Okay. Just want to make
pending
sure.
ice conditions. All right, they can hear us now. Thank you, Michelle and Paul. So yeah, Beaujeu 10 days away. A few people have posted some videos of them out testing. Matt Gady was up in north central Minnesota doing some testing. Matt Bennett was cleaning the pond off today, took a little slip and fall. He posted on his page.
The mats are on the ice. We're waiting for videos of anybody else.
Yeah, so it's officially cold here in central Wisconsin. Eagle River started making ice, so that's promising.
And we got some videos out of the Power Toboggan up there. They had the water truck on yesterday, I believe, already. And I spoke to my good friend up there 2 days ago about how the weather is up there. And he says it's cooling down and he's excited to get in the old water truck to throw some water down. And he's got some 440 IFS stuff going. So he's fired up.
Awesome. Yeah. CPTC, like we said, a few days away. I'm hoping for really good number turnouts. I think, that first race is always super hard to judge.
They've been doing really well
the last couple of years. Yeah. Record number for champs last year. Always a good local turnout for the Winnipeg community and whatnot. So that's good to see. And
you can catch it all on YouTube.
Yeah. They'll have it on their YouTube page. That's the first round of the USSA Pro Star Cups series for the champ sleds. Gunnar Stern, defending winner up there, defending points champion too for the season.
Let's jump into some of the point structures that have changed for the Pro Star Tour. I think that's something that we can jump on to with additional points for attending the events, along with a B main as a new add-on to the structure with points as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just the top 10 top 12 collecting points.
Yeah. So that was addressed earlier this season, earlier in the year, I should say, at the rules meeting. And some drivers wanted some points for the B main. So if there's a really competitive, if you're racing every round and maybe there's one round with a bunch more entries, you don't make it to the A main, or you have a bad couple heat races, you get knocked down to the B main, and you're not in the transfer spot to get back up into the A. I believe fourth on back.
Yeah, starting at 50 points.
They are paying at least 50 points for the B main. That's not winning the B main. That's fourth place in the B main gets 50 points. It's posted on USSA's website, the point breakdown. And I think that's to encourage guys that are, traveling regulars, so they can stay in the end of the year points positions.
You might have a tough year. You never know what these sleds are. They're finicky. You may have some motor issues. You could be down on something. You could be slipping it up and just missing it week after week, but you're taking the time, you're traveling. I guess there's has to be some reward.
A little bit
there.
of a reward. And yeah, that makes sense. I mean, everyone has an off weekend occasionally, so that can make up for it. If you're top 3 in the B main, you will transfer to the A main.
Do I see this make or breaking the championship and the winning sleds? I don't believe so. I just feel it'll give those guys that last year didn't get points, or guys that are kind of that mid to, on the bubble of getting points, that feeling of having some achievement for sure at the end of the year.
Yeah, and it could help them for sure. Like we said, 50 points for 4th place, and I think it's 5-point increments on back.
And I guess if you want to win the tour, you must show up at every event to get those additional points, because that's a big bonus.
There's some travel point bonuses this year, right?
If you take green flag in the Pro Star Cup Tour, we'll receive 200 additional points for the events weekend side.
Yeah, so an additional
that's
points for going to every event.
Yeah, it's a big bonus.
Yeah,
that's a win,
and that's huge, because that forces teams to travel. So that's good for other tracks that might not be in their central location to keep their numbers up, and that's important to support all the tracks, all the venues.
And this is based on the Pro Star Tour.
Yes, this is Pro Star Cup, so champ guys.
Yeah, I don't know the point breakdown for the standard USSA stuff. I didn't see that floating around the website, but maybe it's similar, maybe it's not. I couldn't say. If you'd like to find that information, head over to their website if it's on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure on other classes. I know for champ, it's if you win a heat race, it's 10 points, and then second is 9, and so on back, and then 100 points for final win, and 90 and 10-point intervals in the final.
Perfect. So that's something new and interesting, and will be fun to watch and see how it pans out with the first weekend coming up 10 days away.
Yeah. It's going to be good to watch. Like we said, it's going to be free on YouTube. They do a great job putting their stuff out as far as live streaming. So good stuff going on up there. Big news out of the oval world that came out since the last episode is the additional F500 point series. It is the Dick and Audrey Decker Triple Crown. It is a series that has been brought forward and organized between PVR and USSA. The Triple Crown comes, in fact, because it's 3 different racetracks. That's where the triple comes from. It is a 5-event series to honor the former Eagle River Derby Complex owners, Richard and Audrey Decker. And the first race is up at the PVR Ironwood event at the end of the month. And then it goes to the second Ironwood, which is a USSA sanctioned event. And then it comes down to Wausau, USSA. And then the following weekend is Wausau PVR. And then it all ends up finishing in Manawa, which is a combined event.
So this is not a point series by any means, but kind of a point series. So the major payout doesn't come until Manawa, but in order to make the show, you must compete in the other events, gaining points towards your credit or ticket, let's call it, for the Manawa front row.
Yes. So we just got off the phone with Bob Richardson with USSA, kind of talking a little bit about this stuff as well.
And I know we're going to get Dave Sarna on as well.
And I think a member of the Decker family, right? We're going to try.
We're going to try. Chucker Allen possibly could be joining us as well to talk on this. These guys are huge supporters of the Dirty Snow and huge supporters of making racing great and creative. There's nothing cooler than having the opportunity to win $10,000 on a F500 sled. The last time we seen something like this go down was in Alexandria, Minnesota. It was a jet ski worth about $8,900.
Yeah, somewhere.
And the field was insane. So, there's some more hoops to jump through for this one. But it makes you have to show up and participate in these events, which is awesome. It's going to be important to get those points to be in the top 9. So you're locked in going into Manawa. I don't know if the term locked in is the proper thing for me to say. We'll find more from Dave once we have him on the show, but
Yeah,
getting those points is going to be important.
I got a rough explanation, kind of to make sure I got it right. Talking back and forth here. So the first 4 events are for seeding purposes. So you want to do well in those first 4 events to make the final race at Manawa. So from my understanding and talking to Bob, and I'm sure we'll get more clarification as this comes along, that the top 9 in points after the first 4 events, that's the 2 Ironwoods and the 2 Wasses, they are in the final at Manawa. They are already in the final. So if you're top 9 after 4 events, you punch your ticket to the final race. Then if you're 10th through 20th in points, or however that's going to work, you are in the LCQ that's going to run at Manawa. And that is going to run on Saturday of Manawa's race schedule. And then the top 3 in the LCQ will make up 10th, 11th, and 12th for the feature event on Sunday. So then you'll have on Sunday, you'll have the top 9 in points and the 3 that transfer out of the LCQ. So just because you might be leading cumulative points after 4 events doesn't mean you're going to win. It means you make the show at Manawa, but the big purse, the $10,000 purse, is for the last race in Manawa.
I wonder if they're going to give, kind of like qualifying for Eagle River. If they do something instead of like a ring, they do like a big ticket or something.
Yeah, like you punched your ticket.
like a ticket. If you're in that top 9, you get your ticket.
Yeah, your ticket to the main event.
Kind of like just a little trophy, something neat. Say you made it. I don't know.
Yeah. So you could have a really 4 great rounds, and you slip up at Manawa. Because or
might not be that lake ice might not be your favor.
Yeah, it's very similar to kind of a NASCAR playoff format, where you're in, and you might have had the best regular season, but it doesn't mean you're gonna just walk away with it.
No, there's no park and wins or anything because of cumulative points. This is coming down to the edge.
You could have a really good 4 races, and then you might not.
You're in.
But if you have a bad race at Manawa, but you had enough points, you just got to start the show. That's not exciting.
Yeah,
this is a really good format. I'm very excited to see this.
This is 10K in a rifle. Like, I thought about getting an F500 just to get this, but I don't think I could cumulatively make enough points with missing so many rounds.
Yeah. So Steve Perrick, president of PVR, formal invites will be sent out to the top 10. And an LCQ will be held in Manawa for the back 2 spots. Okay.
There you go.
I'm sure there's be a little bit more information on it.
So here's a big thing about this event. You're going to want to register to be part of this program. It's $150. And it must be received by December 27th, or this price goes up after December 27th. It goes up to $200 fee. So you want to get it. If you're going to do this, go over to the Manawa Snowdio website.
It's www.manawasnowdio.org for your entry forms.
And you're going to go in there, and it's going to be on the main page. Click on it. It's a Google page. You can mail it in. It looks like you can email it in, and then ways to pay for your entry fee, Venmo or
check,
PayPal. It looks like it's on here. So
this is a great series for F5. I mean, I love that.
This is a new spark.
It makes USSA and PVR work very well together. So it's perfect that they're coming together for this. I think it's, that's a lot of money for first place, plus an engraved Henry rifle. And then 2nd through 10th will receive cash prizes totaling $7,000 for those 9 positions, and then merchandise as well.
Norm almost bought a F500 just for the rifle.
I could be a team owner. That'd be about it.
Team owner, but he wants the rifle.
Yeah. So Steve also just posted links are on the PVR and USSA website pages as well, and a Facebook page was created for this. So really great opportunity for F500 drivers. This is, like you said, one of the largest purses for F500. since Alexandria.
This will be exciting. It's going to turn the wick up. Let's get into the nitty gritty. What do you think? If you win this, should your sled go home in a plastic crate?
Ooh.
Like, should that motor just be taken out and taken almost to the crank? Actually, I would go right to the crank just to prove a point.
I think
for 10K.
Yeah, for 10K, it's got to be teched very fairly. I know.
It only costs $200 to put a motor back together.
Yes, that's true.
10K and a rifle, I'd take it right to the crank.
Yeah, you got to take it all the way down. I think
take it all the way down, put it in a plastic
probably,
bin.
Right?
You got top 3. You're thinking
top 3? Oh yeah. What?
Okay.
You got to make with this kind of money. You got to make it work.
Okay, so we're not in tech and we're not involved.
Yes, we're not involved. We're just saying, and
we're just
in order for this to work fairly,
crazy things out there.
Everything it needs to be teched, and I know PVR and USSA will follow the ISR guidelines on teching F500.
I'm just talking about like let's just go right to the point and get to the extreme and make sure like if we're giving a $10,000 check, like I don't want nothing goofy.
Yep, and I see Michelle and Steve talking tech will be structured and top 2 are going to be completely torn down. So
there we go.
And that's what I like to see because that holds everyone to the standard and the accountability factor of it that it's a reward to the F500 guys that class was chosen as this premier event and they got to play by the book.
Yeah, well, when we sat down would have been 4 years ago now or 3 years with Dick Decker, I think he was 92 at the time, and we chatted about all kinds of different race events, and this guy had an ultimate mindset of trying to create a Triple Crown of some form. It wasn't along these lines at that time, but I could see this working a lot better than what we spoke about in that little trailer. But it was so fun listening to him come up with these ideas and seeing where it could go and how to get the backing and creating it. Dick loved this sport no matter what he ran.
True promoter.
If he could have ran his sled that last year, I seen him at Eagle River, was 92 or 93 years old. He would have been the oldest guy ever to compete in a race. The guy brings a sled down from Canada for him to run. It was always an awesome thing to watch at Eagle River. So, and she competed as well. So this family has been in racing, and it's awesome to see a race and commemorative to go towards this Decker family here. Late owners of Eagle River.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, big deal for the F500 guys. And we should say that the points for the Triple Crown are going to be separate from your affiliate, your association's points. So like, for example, the PVR race at Ironwood, they will still have an F500 class points. This will just be layered on top of it as well. So, the association running the race, and they will have their own class points. This is just an additional points for that class. So if you're not registered for the Decker Triple Crown, you're not going to get points towards it, but you'll still get points toward PVR or USSA. But for $150 entry fee and a chance at a lot of money, it's kind of a no-brainer.
It's like pulling fingers, like at the bar. You
got
$150 is like, we'll pull fingers, I guess.
Yeah,
that's just throw it out there and get it in there before the 27th. So it is 150, not 200. And hey, if it pans out, you get the points collected and you make the show. You're going to make that 150 back
easily.
If you're in the top 10,
easily. You're already going to these races, and I think this is. What do you think?
This is a bonus
entries
for F500 guys at the end of the day. This is a huge bonus.
Yeah, very, very large.
They're going to attend these events no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's going to entice some Canada guys that might not come to every event. I think they're going to come down for it. You have a reason to be there. On top of racing, you have more of a reason.
5 weekends in the States, so is a lot though. But
it is a lot.
I could see it happening. But if you're sure you're going to have your Minnesota pond guys, I bet you're going to be jumping ship. To try to compete for this, because that's not too bad of a drive. And what are the points going to take to win, or to get in that front row?
Yeah,
will be interesting to watch that kind of layout, and it'll kind of give us a driver ranking on people. And I think we could have some fun here at the Dirty Snow talking about this and drivers ranking and watching it throughout the live stream. And with us being at some of these events, actually almost all of them,
yeah, probably
we'll
all
have
of
a
them.
chance to voice our opinion on this, not just Champ Sleds. F500 is really going to get a spotlight of this.
Yeah, and they are more than deserving. They have very large entries, you know, in terms of number of sleds. They have a couple different classes with the junior drivers and sport. So I think this is going to make some sport guys jump up to the pro class. You know, you're going to have a little bit of inexperience maybe out there. Another added element to dicing your way across the ice.
Oh man, F500 it's a fun class.
It is. It's a very entertaining class.
It's a muscle sled class. You know, these things you set them up to be aggressive to the point where you don't want to ride it, but you have to ride the shit out of it to make it work.
Yeah,
there's no other way to word it.
Put your mouth guard in, bite down, and turn the handlebars.
Yeah, the years I raced F500, it was a dogfight. It was like riding a mechanical bull every day. We set them up so terribly to be so aggressive. Not terribly, I guess. Not the right way.
Just on the edge. You set them up. You set them
up on the edge. Yeah, they were a tough sled to ride. We set them up as aggressive as you could get with 6-inch carbides because you couldn't do it with carbide. You had to do it with your suspension. You know, there's a lot of things that you couldn't do because it's restrictive. Yeah. To the point of how do I make this sled rigid? How do I not make it rigid? Because some ice doesn't like that. How do I make the front end handle? Does the sway bar? Am I putting a bunch into it? Am I not? Is it unloading on me just because of my body movement? This F500 class is the builder class for people to understand how to learn to set up a sled, which is awesome. And the talent out there is really good, and now they're getting that opportunity to show it off. And I bet you're going to have some guys jumping down, or let's call them paid riders. Could possibly happen.
No, I mean, it's great that this is announced. I wish it was like announced like a month and a half ago, because then you could see how many F500s are quickly getting built. I'm sure.
Oh, I've heard a few.
I'm sure Wall Brothers getting parts kits selling. Just flying off the shelves. So, very exciting news for a very important support division that doesn't always get the recognition that they deserve, and they put on a very good show. So I'm excited.
We're going to see some numbers for sure.
I'm thinking 40 plus average.
That's a big number. I'm going to say 25 is my target.
I shoot for the moon, man.
You're shooting for the moon?
Shooting for the moon. Okay. That's a lot of money on the line. That's first place. That's as much as the WC pays.
It's 4 events prior.
I understand.
Which is the add up, you know.
But you're already going to be there.
Like in some cases, if you're a hired gun.
Yeah. Mano Snodio.
Yeah. Mano Snodio.
Dave and Debbie, I saw the email about just before the show. So I'll reach out to you right after the show.
And I did speak with Alan Decker a few days ago, and we had a conversation. So Snodio, we are on top of this. Just didn't have it scheduled out for this. Yes. It came up a little quick on us here for this show,
but we'll try maybe next week. A little bit, another pre-Beaujeu show. Can't have a driver. It's hard to get any of the guys going to Beaujeu because they're all busy packing the trailer.
Everybody's in the shop right now. This is shop time 101. Deer season is over. Boys are putting sleds together, and if you're a diehard racer, you weren't even hunting because you were building sleds.
I don't miss that. I miss being able to go hunting and do stuff on the weekends. It's not that stuff, but no, great opportunity for a lot of the F500 guys.
Next year, one guy will be hunting with a new rifle.
Yeah, new Henry rifle. So, interesting to see. I think there's a handful. I mean, I don't think there's any favorites off the top of my head right now.
I got a few guys that come to my mind. That I think will be tough to beat.
Yeah.
You know, you have guys like Colton Walney. I bet you he'll be at this event. He's been strong. He's been in there a long time.
Yeah.
This guy's got those sleds figured out. You have
Colton Graber.
And then who's the other one from Minnesota up there north? He's dominant at Wasses last year.
Yeah, it was Graber then, the 965 sled.
Graber, and then there's another one, a burlier guy. I'm at a loss now. I gotta
think of some.
We're gonna have to look into this because we're not 100% on all of our 500 stuff, but we're in Keene. We pay attention to it.
Yeah, you got
now this gives us a whole
Marcus Catlin, former Eagle River champion in the F500 division.
Yeah.
He's from Merrill, Gleason area. There's a couple sleds out there.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a fun show. Maybe Jolene and Walney will show up.
Yeah, a couple sleds probably coming out of the woodwork, getting
I bet
off
you
the
that
getting taken off the top shelf of the pallet racking. So yeah, interesting. There's more information.
If you know some people that are going to be running this, drop some names in the comments. Let's see some
Dane
names.
Klinger,
F500,
yes.
Dane Klinger. Yeah.
Zach will probably race it. He's got an F500. So Bryce Tresniak's looking for a ride.
He's selling himself now.
Is he going to be? He's like you, a suitcase driver.
Hey, suitcase drivers are hard to come by.
So
the teams there are.
Yes. Yeah, but I bet some get built last minute here. I'm sure, next you got just about a month before the first Ironwood event. And we just heard that they got the track up there. They graded it this year, Ironwood.
Yeah, they added some width to entry of 1 and 2. It looks like 3 and 4 on X, or I'm sorry, 2 is a little wider, and they really cleaned up 4.
Where it kind of got that dog leg in it.
Kind of you stared at the fence for a minute. It was sketchy, and a lot of guys actually did put it in there. I remember in the 2000 and throughout, Dustin Wall, I've seen dump it in there, and a few other guys. It's just like that's a wicked corner. 3 and 4 was wicked fast, and 4 just got really tight, and they said they widened that up. So I'm excited to see that.
And they got a new front stretch wall. Plywood wall with some banking behind it, so nothing's gonna go into the grandstands. They got a couple sections of grandstands up.
It sounds like 3 sections of grandstands will work great, and I think you'll have more opportunity. We always had where vehicles could park around the outer ring, kinda. There's just so much. Ironwood is a cool track to start at. That's where I had my feet getting wet into this ice oval racing in the F500 class. So it holds a little heart, and it's great to see it back with all the incidents and things that did go down there. Seemed like more pit area with the loss of 2 buildings opened up some pit area, which will really help as well to get us a little closer, so you're not kind of going through that outer gate on the long push in.
And they said track entry and hot pits are pretty much, if you've been there before, kind of in the same area. Greg Bassam up there does a great job promoting. The community is really behind it. I think they've missed out on, quite a bit of tourism up there over the last couple of years and not having those 2 weekends. So that's about a month out. That's the first race in the States for the most part, at least on our schedule.
We have Vintage PBR up there first.
Yep. And then that'll be the start of the Decker Triple Crown.
Yep. December 27th and 29th is the opening weekend of the Triple Crown and the Vintage PBR in the States.
Yeah. So anything else going on? I mean, Beaujeu coming up 10 days out.
10 days out. The pressure is down for these guys.
When you raced Champ, you obviously owned your own sled at the time. What were the last, you knew what the deadline was. You were leaving Wednesday night or Thursday early in the morning to make it there by Friday.
Yeah, it's
always a scramble
for here.
But what was the last couple days till the countdown like for you?
Well, I've only been to it twice early season. So I was prepared, I believe I just had gotten a wheel sled the first time I ever went there. And it was shakedown time, seeing what we could do, and we drove up there, and that's what it was. I had the sled pretty well put together. Didn't think much of it. But it's a pressure time. You're pushing right now. You'd be in the shop every night until probably 10 o'clock, on top of going to the gym, on top of trying to eat right, on top of being employed. A lot of these guys are employed. At the end of the day, it's taking time off work and making this stuff happen. So you're stressed. You're hoping you have a driver to drive you up there, and you can sleep all the way there.
Yeah,
that's what I
hope
for.
You're hoping your crew can go along for 3 days too.
Yeah,
they don't mind getting back Monday at 6 a.m. and going to work at 7, 8.
Yeah, it's a long trek from here in central Wisconsin. So I guess without being in the phase right now, I just can't throw back to the way the pressure was. I think we were pretty well prepared at that point, putting wraps on the sled and getting everything right and making sure you're representing all your sponsors, and just final touches. Just final touches and a lot of clutches and running shit in the shop and just kind of tuning it and hopefully found some ice, but usually didn't have much luck doing that where we were those years.
I know the couple times, the one time I was up there, I think that was the first time the sled hit the ice.
Yes.
Was Bossier, and you're just like, well, got to nut and bolt it every time it comes off the track because we don't know what's loose. So
usually something was loose.
Yeah, usually found one or two, and hope the Loctite held on the studs,
and hope you jetted it up.
yeah, jet up. If you've never been to Bossier, jet up.
At least two
sizes.
At least two sizes. Whatever your chart says, go up 2. Be safe.
Be safe. It's way easier to come back down than rebuild. We learned that one year. That was, I don't think
my camp.
I wasn't there at the race, but old Jimmer told us jet up 3 sizes, and I think they only went 2.
I don't.
For how long? For how long you're on the gas?
Yeah, it's a neat place. Hey, one other thing that popped up that we've seen a lot of comments on, kind of on the 440 page, was, I don't want to really bring attention to it because everybody's worried about this. Oh, you drill a hole in your helmet, you're gonna have issues. End of the day, face shields are king. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that was just talking about face shields, whether necessary or not, and it comes down to driver preference.
Don't be bashing a guy for using them because they do save a lot of equipment when it comes to and scratching lenses, and they're cheap throwaways at the end of the day.
And I don't think 3 1/8-inch holes are gonna
affect
compromise a helmet.
At the end of the day, if are you gonna go back to the helmet company, ask for a warranty after you walk yourself up? They're like, dude, you crashed. Like, what do you expect? Like the helmet, it's meant to collapse and break down.
So I don't think that has any effect on it, but
yeah. So I thought I'd chime in on that because I got some laughs out of it. Some of the people, talking big game. Yeah, that's cool. You want to wipe your goggles and wreck a set of lens? That's up to you. But hey, you talk your game and you race your race, but I'll wave when I go by.
Yeah, to me, it's way easier to wipe a shield, I think, than
it's like body movement. If you're wearing leather gloves, you're not gonna want to wipe
your goggles.
Wipe your goggles with your leather gloves. That's like, hey, let's just scratch up a set of lenses and throw them out. Shield, what, $30-$40? I don't even know what they cost anymore. I bought 2 of them the other day.
Yeah,
they are a pain in the ass to mount on the new helmets because of the multi-core.
The molding has changed on the helmets a little bit.
Yeah, they got a 2-layer core, one's foam, one's different. And then they've opened up, a lot of them opened up because their moto helmets now don't really build snow cross or snowmobile helmets anymore that are dedicated to winter. So everything's opened up a hair. So it makes it a little tougher to get that arch and get the shield to come down. But yeah, it's just funny reading some of the posts and some of the people talking down on stuff. There's no need for that in the sport. Like, each guy's going to do their own with their equipment. Let's just make sure you got the right amount of orange, and helmets are open game, and let's keep your reality and keep it smart.
Got some information from Steve Perrick there. For PVR, test and tune will be the 27th. Heats and semifinals are the 28th, and finals are the 29th. That is for the PVR Ironwood show.
So that's a new layout for PVR this year, I believe, with not doing it all in one day. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Steve, or is that something you guys have been doing for a while now?
Yeah, I don't know. Normally, like I know Wassa, it depends on the race event. Like they try to get it in one day. Like I think Wassa's a 1-day show.
I think they're just getting so big. So many sleds.
A lot of sleds. Which is good. That's a good problem to have.
Great problem to have.
They've done they do
done it both ways. Perfect. Yeah. So I'm there, but I'm not there.
Yeah. Paul Sockwell, the Ice Oval Unlimited guys, Dorchester started flooding. That's good news too. That's not far from us. So yeah, temps are getting cold. Little bit of a warm up coming up for central Wisconsin, but nothing too major. I think Mother Nature is gonna redeem us this year compared to how she treated us last year. So that's promising to see. But yeah, today was mainly talking about the Dick and Audrey Decker Triple Crown. That is the big news. F500 class. Get some sleds out there, man. Like, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. That's more money than what Alexandria had. And there was there was 30 plus entries for that.
That's one event though, so
race.
you could have
you
could pull stuff off the shelf, and the guys can jump on them and run them for the weekend for sure.
Yeah,
so,
and you just got to finish top 9 in points in the first 4 events, cumulative points, to punch your ticket to the final race at Manoa.
There you go.
So
let's get our F500 guys.
I think there's going to be some people coming out of the woodwork. It'll be interesting. I can think of probably 2 or 3 sleds off the top of my head.
Yeah,
on people that should be finding a snowmobile.
Yeah, I think I have heard a few names.
I think there's 3. I think there's 3 in town that I can think of.
Yeah, I've had some chats with people, and they've said they're doing it just because of this event. So.
I think there's, I could think of at least 3 right now. One of the Ricky brothers.
Oh yeah, that'd be possible.
Joey Nawalny. One of the Pasculas.
That's true.
The Murkowskis.
Ooh, Murkowski
missiles.
Hey,
man,
Murkowski missiles. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Those guys would be fun to see back on a sled, but the age is getting the best.
Yeah, I know they're a little older now, a little older.
Yeah, they're.
I don't know. Look at Keith Wojo.
Maybe Keith will get back on F5.
Shit, you guys were.
That's fire on ice.
You were 25 years younger than him, and he kicked our tail a lot.
Yeah, he was good. He made you ride that sled like you had it. That's just one thing that was great.
Jason Boyda, another guy out of Canada that comes down occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's going to be some PVR guys that I'm not as familiar with that probably are going to run a couple USSA events that they maybe wouldn't normally run, and
I bet you Pond Series guys will be working their way over.
Maybe some Gleason International people.
Oh, Gleason International.
Gleason International.
The finest race.
Around the paperclip, they could. That would be really fun too. A series like if you could go bounce around one's an Ice Oval Unlimited sanction, one's USSA.
I did a lap in the car on that
Gleason.
At Gleason, and that is tight.
One's got to go over to the Pond Series. Make all of snowmobile racing come together.
Tour racing, yeah.
race. Throw an Eagle River event in there.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, but I think that's about all we had.
Yeah,
for
today's show. And if you're a champ driver and you plan on racing the tour, shoot us a message. Give us some game plans of what you kind of got going down. Maybe a bio. We'd like to look at some stuff and maybe try to plan some future shows with some drivers.
Some new faces that maybe we haven't seen on here before.
Yeah, maybe a rookie year. I think that'd be kind of fun to do a rookie group, maybe multiple in one show. Let's just see what you guys got. If you're going to plan on racing champ, send us some stuff, and if you're going to run this
Triple Crown,
maybe we can get some names there and we could do some multi-people interviews for a show. If you got people that you'd maybe like to see more or learn who they are, throw it in the comments. Just throw it in the comments and we'll reach out to people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. F500 is getting a lot of recognition. I think this is really good for them. People say they're a support class, but you need those support classes. They bring a lot of pit guys. They bring
champ guys.
A lot of sleds, and yeah, you're gonna pull the next generation out of those lower divisions. So it's super important.
I look back, look who Blaine Stevenson is.
Yeah,
I watched him on an F500 before I ever seen him on a champ sled. So,
I just thought of something that I don't know if we're gonna discuss it on air, but I thought of 2 people from the UP of Michigan that would be really good on these sleds, but I don't know if they're old enough.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Gosh.
Yeah, these guys would be really fun to watch.
Very competitive too.
The 2 boys.
That's not my cup of tea. That's above my pay grade to figure that out. So.
Well, I believe the one had the opportunity through a progress program and getting approvals for one series. The other sanctioning body, I don't know.
Okay, here's another thought. If you have a junior sled, right? You have a junior F500 driver, they're probably not eligible for this.
Yes.
Are they allowed to, is another driver allowed to race their sled?
Well, it's just another.
I would assume it'd just be another entry fee.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. If some champ guys or F3 drivers could work with some junior drivers on getting their sleds in these shows.
So you're saying a hired gun
Yeah,
on a junior driver sled.
Yeah, Bryce Presnak. There's your reach out to a junior driver that can't run this but has a fast sled. Just putting thoughts out there.
Oh, we're getting crazy now. 10Ks on the line.
Paul Sackwell, January 25th, the Dorchester race. They're going to have, I did see that. I read that earlier. $1,000 to the F500 winner for Dorchester, for those that maybe aren't racing that series.
I think the F500 class is the B. There's money there this year. There was money.
And there's money everywhere, I guess, for these guys, which is great. It's great for the sport. Paul does a great job. I saw they had a whole bunch of prizes and bonus money to quite a few classes down at Dorchester. Some jackets. So they got a great group there.
Yeah. So that's what we got, guys. Drop your names in the comment, who you want to see on the show, possibly who you want to get interviews of. And we're just going to keep working at it here at the Dirty Snow Podcast. And we'll keep you guys in tune, and we can't wait to have some future guests.
Yeah, we'll try next week. I'm going to reach out to Dave Sarna and the Manual crew, see if we can get one of the Decker family members on to talk more about this and how it came about.
Well, we've trained the son-in-law very well on getting on the show, so I think he can help Alan.
On the show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Herf can help Alan.
Yes,
get his camera
Herf's
set up.
Got to help Alan.
We'll be good.
So, all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. We got to thank a few people here that help us put on the show every week before we go.
Oh, we forgot to do that.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We had technical
difficulties, and you got that. All right, let's go. Here we go.
So we got to thank our friends over at Woody's Traction Products. They do a great job helping out the show, and can't thank them enough for all they do for us and for the sport of ice oval. Rick over at Papa Seasonings. Best seasoning out there. If you're looking for some Bloody Mary mix, some chicken and steak seasoning, reach out to Rick and Papa Seasonings.
I'm going to be reaching out. I think I'm out of everything.
Yeah, I think they got an F500 too. I bet you we see them a little more.
Oh, yeah.
So the fine folks over at Emperor One CBD Products giving us the Emperor One studio. And then PJR Home Services. That should be everyone. Thanks again for watching today. We'll be back here next week, hopefully soon. We'll stay in touch. Be sure to check out Beaujeu if you can get up there. Short 12-hour drive from central Wisconsin, happening in 10 days. So we'll see you guys next time.